And Trump is now the guy, the old man, ranting and raving on social media. He's having trouble pivoting to Harris. And it's been weeks at this point. He's going with Comrade Kamala and Tampon Tim. Have you heard anybody else refer to them as that? Unless it's just your, QAnon uncle on Facebook. Back in the day, Trump used to have this branding down. Little Marco, Crooked Hillary. We can remember these. Well, low energy Jeb. This is just stuff that he knew. He had his finger on the pulse of this kind of stuff, and now he's running as like a standard neocon about going to war with Iran.
Right. Well, I mean, I was like standard neocon combined with like grumpy Fox News grandpa who also like used to be able to get off the recliner but can't anymore.
Right.
Some normal people who are kind of adopting, if not in exact wording, the framing that Trump has for Tim Walz are the normal folks over at Megyn Kelly's Sirius XM program when with her interviewing Tucker Carlson about why they think Tim Walz is so weird.
Yeah, what is the vibe that Tucker Carlson got from Tim Walz? You can tell he's a real man because of the flannel. And he's in his woodshed, which I'm sure costs like $1.5 million to renovate.
Why is he so obsessed with transing children, making it possible for them to separate from their parents and have their body parts chopped off? Hello?
Yeah, well, I lived in a boys' dorm in a New England boarding school in the 1980s with a lot of guys like Tim Walz, okay? So I saw that guy and I'm like, oh, wow, I know exactly, you're a creeper, as we used to call him, for sure. And, I guess I definitely shouldn't suggest what I'm suggesting without evidence. I don't have evidence beyond what I've seen. So I just want to say that I'm probably, again,
do you mean like a pervert? When you say creepy, like
there's something wrong with that guy. He's a weirdo. And you can tell watching him. And I'm sorry, I just lived long enough that I know that your gut level perceptions are rooted in truth. They're not always precisely true. I've gotten many things wrong. Like the details are unknown to me, but I look at that guy and I'm like, you're a weirdo. And everyone's like, no, he's so normal. No, not normal. Sorry. And so
there's another thing. There's another thing about Tim Walz that hasn't gotten as much airtime. And it's true. He actually did remove, they were coming up with the Minnesota human rights law and revising it, renewing.
So, gut level, you just know in your gut when someone's a creeper or someone's weird, he says. Do I have any evidence for this? No. Look, I don't want to be the subject of litigation in the same way that, some other people have been for making false statements, like Tim Pool and others.
Tucker Carlson's gut when it comes to, creepers and stuff like that. It's interesting if you go back and Justin Baragona at that time at the Daily Beast has a piece titled Tucker and guest source to prove Ilhan Omar. Oh, sorry, I just got an ad from, oh my God.
Married her
brother.
Oh my
God, Daily Beast is killing me. Prove Ilhan Omar smear and accuse child sex trafficker. Yeah, that was Tony Lazzaro, who was a big GOP guy and was later, I think, University of St. Thomas in Minneapolis, using college students to help groom other young women, and he's in jail now.
Yeah.
That was the source of Tucker Carlson's Ilhan Omar married her brother for citizenship bullshit. So it's interesting. Tucker, for some reason, his spidey senses, which he developed at boarding school or whatever, didn't ring with Tony Lazzaro or Anton Lazzaro. You can Google that guy.
Yeah, you can. And as Matt said, that was a completely made up story about Ilhan Omar, a racist smear about her that circulated on the internet. You got to trust, Tucker says, just trust his gut. When he says something about somebody, you've got to believe him. Right? So I bring you text messages from litigation with Fox News. We are very, very close to being able to ignore Trump most nights. I truly can't wait, said Tucker Carlson in 2021, right after the election in that January. He said, I hate him passionately. I blew up at Peter Navarro today in frustration. I actually like Peter, but I can't handle much more of this. You got to trust your gut. So if Tucker's saying publicly how Trump is so great now, but he said that privately, how can you trust that he's accurately portraying his gut on air? I guess you just got to trust the vibes he has about Tim Walz. Just look at the guy. Let's microanalyze every detail of how he interacts with his wife to prove that we're not the weird ones or something like that. Silly.
Dumbass Marks, if you believe Tucker Carlson these days.
Yeah, he's what I love about this era of Tucker Carlson is that it very much mirrors the irrelevancy that Bill O'Reilly fell into after leaving Fox News. It's nice to see these freaks humbled by the fact that they're not really all that once the multi-billion-dollar machine is not pumping them out to the masses for consumption.
Oh, how does Cybertruck handle a logging camp in rural Maine? He's doing ads for Elon Musk now.
Yeah.
But you're right in the sense that
sad.
I think there was a concern even that being like, Tucker post Fox News was going to be like, oh my God, what's his next move going to be, and where is his unique brand of right wing, his right wing ideology? Is it going to metastasize into another huge role somewhere else where he'll have more of a reach? It actually turns out that time slot is really what confers your power over anything else. You could basically put a potted plant in that time slot, and everyone would be like, "Oh my God, what are they doing over there?"
They have Jesse Waters there, so perhaps a potted plant would be an improvement, given how he's not really doing so hot right now.
Yeah, the mental constitution of that potted plant is probably a little sharper than Jesse Waters' porridge brain.
That would stand to reason.
Hi, folks. Hey, you've heard me criticize how the mainstream media across the political spectrum either fails to report on important stories or prioritizes their own bias over balanced and comprehensive news coverage. Well, that's why I use Ground News as a solution on a daily basis. Longtime sponsors gather related news and add important context so you can understand how each outlet reports on it and maybe sometimes skews the facts. This, and being so close to the presidential election, you're going to see rhetoric against Harris and Tim Walz is only going to intensify. So I can't recommend enough that you check out Ground News's election page. My Vantage plan gets me access to their election-focused blind spot feed and diverse perspectives on each candidate so I can find the truth on who they really are, not just hear the loudest, most biased opinions. And areas where, frankly, the left or the right is not covering. For each story you read on their platform, you're going to find article Ground News found reporting on it, as well as tags to the next source indicating if they're independently owned or not, how credible their reporting is, and if they have any political bias one way or another, making it really easy to critically analyze different perspectives and come to your own conclusions. Their mission aligns so much with what we try to do on this show. We try and make you more media literate. So I can't recommend enough going to ground.news/majority or scanning my QR code to subscribe. Ground News is independent and subscriber supported. My viewers, however, will save 40% on the same Vantage plan that I use for unlimited access to all their features on a daily basis. Hey, folks, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and check out our daily show. We do it every day at 12 p.m. Eastern for about 2.5 hours. We even take phone calls. You should check that out.